going on? What is going on, everybody? Hanging out with some Haunted for a good reason today. And cheers, everybody. Welcome. Good morning. Episode 200 was pretty fun. I was pretty sick yesterday, folks. I was trying to give you guys 3 hours, but I started talking in circles. And I'm just like, wow, this is done. I've got to shut this down. I'm so tired. And so I was sick. My head was a little, And I wasn't even very herbally enhanced yesterday, unfortunately. It's bad times. Anyways, I'm kidding. How's everybody doing today? I'm just tuning this up because I just had to do a neck adjustment. A very rare neck adjustment for Gilbert. As I noticed yesterday, things were getting a little slappy. So I needed to do a neck adjustment. This needs to be up. Holy cow. It's a good morning. It's never a bad morning when you get to crack open a brand new plugin. I have not tried these yet. This is, we've explained before, I don't like doing first impression streams live because sometimes I don't like something. And if I don't like something, I don't like talking about how much I don't like something in a live stream or in any content. I'm not going to be one of those negative people. There are certain plugins I think suck, and I'm not going to mention them unless you ask me about them. If you ask me about a plugin point blank and I don't like it, I will tell you point blank, I do not like that plugin very much. It's just how I work. But I'll tell you specifically why. But otherwise, I don't like to do content. Can you stay in tune, for fuck's sakes? Otherwise, I don't like to do content that's negative at all. Just letting the team know here that we are fired up and ready to rip. If anybody wants to join us, they are more than welcome. Getting pretty interested in those Seymour Duncan Mortal Coils. Good morning, all. I'm on live with the knobs. All right, cool. So as you guys know, we have a thing around here when we use the Bogren Amp Knobs, and it's fucking knobs. You gotta say fucking knobs in your best Boston accent. Fucking knobs. That's a good thing, though. We're not talking shit. That's a good thing. So anyways, welcome to the stream. It's going to be a chill kind of morning. Chill morning. We are going to have some fun. We're going to check out the knobs, the new knobs. Let's make it big. Big so you can see how big this knob is. That's a big fucking knob. These things look awesome. They do a great job of them, and they're starting to make them a little bit more feature rich, which is cool. I still admittedly would be awesome. Oh, is this on all the time? Hold on. Oh. Okay. So I'm noticing that they've now hardwired the IRDX technology feature in here. Is there an on? There needs to be an on-off for that. Is there an on-off for that? There should be an on-off button for that. As admittedly, I'm not the biggest fan of the feature myself. It's not a horrible feature. It's just, I'm not the hugest fan of it. I actually just prefer the sound of it off, that's okay because it's a feature. But I believe that all their plugins, they give you the opportunity to turn it up or down or on or off, I think. It'd be cool if they gave you at least the toggle to toggle it on and off here. So we're gonna get going anyways with this, and let's just get tested. I should be fine here. All right, sick. The signal's good. This is based on the Engl Savage 120 Mark II, which is like the V2 second version, etc. I believe the fella John Gallagher from Dying Fetus is a current user of this amp. Let's see what we have out of the box. Oops, I know what I did there. Haha, moron. Whoopsie. Smarty pants. All right. Oops. Make sure my B flat is now out. All right, got a good level. If things are sounding solid, I'm gonna bring my output up. I'm gonna bring my input up a little bit. So far sounding good. This is an amp I really like, but now I want to be clear about this. This must have been really hard. I wonder, like, internally at Bogren Digital, I wouldn't mind asking. I should have asked if Jensen or Jacek or somebody wanted to join us today. Next time we do one of the knob plugins. Hey, what's going on? Exhumed Corpse, Mesorecto. Nice to see everybody we're hanging out yesterday. We had a crazy episode. I am going to do a less crazy walkthrough of the DD plugin, likely either later today or tomorrow, where it's a little bit more calmed down, a little bit less going on, no birthdays. It's a very complex plugin that I realize it's just like, there's a lot going on inside this plugin. So I realized it just needed something a little bit more, just a little bit more put together than we did yesterday. It was pretty crazy in there yesterday. It was pretty fun. Thank you so much for attending yesterday. Glad to be here today. Excuse me. So I wonder if there are every arguments at Bogren Digital, because for example, say Exhumed Corpse and we are both metalheads. We both like a lot of the same amps. And we both, in my opinion, we can both get pretty great tone out of almost anything. However, if, say, Exhumed Corpse and I were working on a product together on something like the Engl Savage 120, and it was one setting, that was one setting on a very complicated and complex amp like the Engl Savage 120. When you see like the other one, the BDH lines where they had the PVs, it's really not a stretch of what you're probably going to do with a PV 5150 or an EVH 5150. You're going to put everything at around 7 and you're going to move along with your day. That's what a lot of people do to the 5150. Everything goes on roughly 6 or 7s and well, I'm making fun of it now every time it comes up, because every time it comes up at work, and as mentioned, I work in education. Every time that comes up, I do not allow it in any classroom I work in. So if it comes up, and we don't hear a peep of it. Anyways, but I make fun. Make fun of it anyways. Anyways. Say that we were going to work on a project, like Exhumed Corpse and I were going to work on a project on a PV 5150. It would probably take, he and I, knowing him as well as I do, I think it would probably take him and I about 5 minutes to come up with a tone, shake hands like Predator style, where it's like, you son of a bitch, you know, like one of those. And he's much larger than me. And then you could, do one of those, and that would be it. However, that being said, if Exhumed Corpse and I were to work on a project on a Savage 120, it would probably be a little bit more discussion. So if you've got a couple of really smart minds over there, is it all just Jens Bogren's settings, or does the newly acquired Patrick Jensen, now working over at Bogren Digital? Hey, if you're not familiar, Patrick is a member of The Haunted, has been forever. He worked at Softtube in various departments and various, I'm not exactly sure. We're going to have him on. I'm going to ask him to come on and talk with us. And I really should have done that today, but I would rather just have him come on and do a Q&A with us. So I'm going to ask him. There was a possibility of getting him about a year ago, but we never really followed up with SoftTube. However, now that I've actually spoken to him directly, I'm going to see if he'll come on and talk to us, because it's very interesting, because Patrick, not only being the guitar player from The Haunted very, very, very long term and having all that to ask him about, he's also had a whole bunch to do with about the last at least 10 plus years of plugins at SoftTube, if I'm not mistaken. He was there for a long time and saw he had a lot to do with things over there. I would love to ask him if he's allowed to talk. What is he allowed to talk about, and so on and so forth. So cheers to Jensen working over at Bogren Digital now, and cheers to that. So does he have input on that? I would love to ask him about that as well. So when it comes to narrowing the settings on something like an amp like the Savage 120 for a plugin where you're not going to be able to change much, I would imagine that is a bit of a conversation. Exhumed Corpse and I, even as well as we get along, it would probably be a lot of conversation as to how to make that amp sound its best. So getting an amp like this down to one setting where you're confident enough to make a plugin is bravo, because I don't think I could do it. I really don't think I could. All right, let's get back to some playing guitar here. Here's the thing about boosting a Savage 120, or really boosting any Engl amp. Be careful. So I'm also wondering about the boost settings and how careful they were with those on this one, because you can't just go and use your average boost, your average screamer settings with something like this, because you might end up making a bit of a mess in the midsection somewhere. As these are very, very tight amps as it is, so you're going to want to be cautious about how you're boosting it. The cool thing about the amp knob plugins is at any point in time that you'd like, you can just go to no cab and use no boost whatsoever. Excuse me. Still a bit sick. And then you can go ahead and use whichever pedal plugin or whichever amps. You can use a loader in here, by the way. You can load your own IR right in here. Or you can just nuke their cab completely and use your own impulse response developer if you're not familiar. I have this, which is Nadir. This is free. You can get it from STL Tones. There are a number of free and cheap and affordable impulse response loaders out there, advanced and simple. This one's my choice, has been forever. I just run whatever through this. And so you can do it that way. And it's a really easy way to learn how to build a signal chain inside a DAW if you've never done it before and you're one of those people that uses mostly standalones. And these do have standalones, by the way. But if you're one of those people that wants to get more out of a plugin like this right here, you can bypass the cab. And we've done it in streams before where we've bypassed the cab. We've not used the pedal. We've used our own selection of pedals and IRs, and you can get way more tones out of these plugins. They become infinitely more versatile the more impulse responses you can throw at them, because the tones, it's amazing how many different tones you can get. My very favorite impulse response of all time is the EGA. It's an Engl cabinet, EGA 412 from Dr. Bonkers. I'm going to use that for a minute and see what we have cooking. I actually like that a little bit more, so we're going to use that for now. Just for now, I'm going to go back and forth between the onboard and my own, because you guys know what's my motto. Whenever I try something new, I like to make sure that as many components in the chain are as familiar to me as possible, so that I want to hear what the amp is giving me. I don't need to know what the IR is giving me right now. I'm always curious about what the amp is giving me, because sometimes IRs aren't good and the amp coding really is, and you might get better with this, with your own selection. Sometimes, I mean, the onboard IRs in the one knob plugins are always very solid. So it's not that they're bad, but like I'm saying, if you want to get more out of it, in this case, I want to see what the amp is giving me. Okay, that's sounding good. Let's use our own overdrive. I like the onboard one better there. But the onboard overdrives or whatever pedal they're using, it was told to me that Jens Bogren's favorite overdrive pedal is the Maxon 808X. Could it be that? What is it that's being used here? Again, I'd love to look more into it. Yesterday was complex, feature rich. Today's simplicity. Yeah, I agree. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just shows you just how many different things are out there. Also, you can make this as a feature rich as you'd like. You can go and build your own signal chain that's quite elaborate. Not a problem whatsoever. It wouldn't take you very much at all. All right. Keep going here. 6 people in the house. Nice to see you all. I appreciate you being here. One setting for such a versatile metal amp like that would be a tough ask. Exactly. You know what I mean? We could sit there and we'd probably discuss it and, you know, play through multiple guitars and try to figure something out, but it would take a while. With a PV, I don't even think we'd have to be in the room. You know, like we just tell somebody else exactly how to set up any of those 5150 amps. Yeah, so you're going to put the gain at 7. It's going to be the red channel. All right. Gain at 7, bass at 7, mids at 7, treble at 7, resonance 7, presence 7, and the post at 3.5. All right. Yeah, sweet. All right. Done. That's it. I'm using my Paul Gilbert PGM 301 Ibanez this is my El Numero Uno. I test everything I test for the first time is done with this. Second half, I'm going to let you guys decide which guitar comes out for the second half, and I'll give you the options. The second half could be my Ibanez with that amazing Alexi Lejo pickup in it. It could be my average ass Jackson with the white EMGs in it. Or it could be another appearance of the recently acquired Tim Henson set from Fishman. Thank you to Fishman, by the way. Through the Schecter Avenger Diamond Series Elite. Those are your 3 options. You guys decide. So I'm noticing that in this particular situation, if I actually had access to the controls, I would probably bump the presence or the top end up just a tiny bit. Well, in this case, I don't have that option. So I'm sitting here like, what can I do? Well, there's 2 options, really. I could turn off the pedal, which I'm noticing already has a pretty nice bite to it if I'm going back here. Got a pretty nice bite to it. If I wanted to increase the top end, I could go to something like the Unified Preamplifier from Aurora DSP, 100% free. Also, I want to welcome a new member, the first new member of our team in some time. We haven't done a new member of the team in a good long time. We've got some amazing members on this team, and we're a pretty large team. But recently, we came across somebody that just became too invaluable. Not even recently, actually. A few of our team members have known this fella for a long time. So, want to welcome Tudor, Adrian, Tudor, Negru. Welcome to the team. I'm not sure if he's in the stream today, but he's going to be a member of our team, one of our NAMM experts, and also expert on a number of other things. But yeah, we had an internal conversation about it, and it seemed like a good idea. So he's going to jump in with us and have a good time. Yeah, the Engl amps are so much more available in Europe. You know, that's one thing. It's like they're more of it's a tougher acquisition here in North America, but in Europe it's easier to get your hands on an Engl and cheaper. And it's a very prominent brand from throughout metal history. Lots of albums. You'd be surprised how many things also involves the Engl E530. That thing appeared on a lot of albums when producers could not get the right tone they wanted. And this piece of gear right here, well, the one that it's based on, the TC Electronics integrated preamplifier, is 100% was also a big part of that sound and various metal sounds, actually. And so we're using it today to kind of just snazz up this amp knob. Not to say the onboard pedal isn't good by any means, but we're just looking, how do I, increase the top end a little bit without actually having access to the amplifier itself? Well, I would just do something like this guy right here and maybe turn that up a little bit and see what we got. Let's give this a bit of volume. Kick ass. Yeah, Frederick Nordstrom really said that? I always thought that everything that he ever did, I'm pretty sure everything he did like early 2000s on was 5150 though. Because like there are bands that talked about working in his studio and having essentially knowing that by the time they left there, they were probably going to have a 5150 on their album, kind of thing. And it's like, that's his go-to was the 5150. Which ones, not specifically. He had a plugin for a bit, eh? Remember that plugin he had, the Fredman Digital? That didn't really pan out. That plugin wasn't very good. It sucks because it could have been really good, but it just wasn't. It just wasn't good. I wish it was. I wish it had been amazing. Also, it's quite boomy. Oh wait, I had a little bit of bass up there. Whoa. This amp, again, so this particular cabinet is very low end. I'm kind of just stepping around this whole thing of, let's try this blend I made the other day. That is a Soldano blend I made on the stream not long ago. Kind of a fun little thing that I did with STL Libra. If you've never used that, please do check it out someday. This one's sounding pretty good. What are you guys thinking so far? I'm going to turn off my cab and go back with their cabs. We're going to go with modern cab. Again, I wish there was just a way that you could turn off the IRDX. I know that Bogren Digital really likes that feature, and it is a cool feature. Some people enjoy it. Some people aren't interested in it. As far as my travels in the streams and talking with you guys, it seems like some of you guys are really like it, and some of you guys are just like, I don't use it. I'm one of the people that don't really use it as much. I feel like even like in their plugins, their cabinets sound like their cabinet section sounds so good as it is without that feature that I just don't feel it's necessary. I like it without it, so it's not like a knock on the feature. It's just preferring the sound a little bit more without it, or being able to blend it in just slightly. And I know they used it here because it says IRDX technology, and I like that they included it. But it'd be cool if they had a little toggle that you can see in the UI. If I boink, right here, like a little toggle right here, just on and off. Make it one of those toggles that's super, make it big and easy to see or whatever. Or hey, wait, can I click it? Double click? No, because I can click on these, but I can't click on that. Okay. Again, not complaining, but you guys know how we roll here. I will just talk about things that I like and things that I would change if I had the power. And I don't have the power in this case, but nonetheless, it's something that we want to talk about because I like to be as transparent with you guys as possible. See that? Yeah, that low end is way more controlled in the sense that the cabinet I was just using, the IR rather, is very big in the low end. You can make it extra modern. I'm gonna wheel back the gain there a little bit. Getting that extra clangy, that like extra modern clanky sound. Sounding pretty good. What's going on, Wano, Nils? I hope I said hi. I hope I said hello. We got a slow chat today. 11 people in the house. Do say hello if you're here. That's what these are all about. Guitar hangs, man. Guitar hangs. Don't be a lurker. Jump in, especially if you've never jumped in before. You never know. You might win something. All right, kick ass. Gonna have some coffee here shortly. Gonna tune. I hope everybody has a kick-ass day today. Who's been watching the Olympics, and who likes how their country is doing, and who does not? That is not political. We can talk about sports here, especially the Olympics. I would imagine that at least some of you in this chat, there are out of 10 people, somebody just bailed because I was being pusher. I was being pusher, man. Don't tell me to talk, man. I'm leaving. Wow, that just does not want to stay in tune today. I gave it a bit of a neck adjustment today. It's not really it hasn't been a fan. And that's just one of the many drive pedals I have kicking around. I've also got this. This is a freebie. I've got the VZ Tech here. This is also another freebie. What? Why is this muting? Update available. Really? You're going to mute me for an update? Ooch. That's... No thanks. Beef. Sounding pretty good here so far today. Wano, it's good to see you, my friend. Man, we got a slow chat today, folks. Slow chat. Let's wake up. Come on now. Let's wake up. If you got questions about these products, let me know. I'm happy to answer anything you might need to know. I realize it's also quite early for some people, so thank you for being here nonetheless. These are amazing little plugins that have a lot of value because there's a lot you can do with them if you're a signal chain builder. If you're someone like myself that just likes to build tones around around like a really nice amp, whether you use the onboard impulse responses or not, they give you the option to use no cap. So obviously they're not going to be pissed off or offended if you don't use theirs. So there's just so many. If you have a decent impulse response collection, then it should be easy. I can use some of my my Bogren digital favorites: Modern Standard, Modern Bright Standard, Bulldozer Death. And if you haven't checked, by the way, if you didn't know, Bogren Digital has a ton of impulse responses available that you can go and get right now. Now, I want to check out a couple of things here first. There's a couple of different, I wanted to check out something from ML Sound Lab. There's just something I like to go to, but I think I might just end up back at the EGA because that did sound quite nice. We'll check out a few different things today. See what we got. And this is based on the big Marshall Mode 4. All right, let's add a little bit of a booster tin there to it. Got to be playing it. You guys know I got to play that riff. Hold on. I'm still thinking that the name captures are... I heard that the Olympics are short. Oh my goodness gracious. They already used... You got to imagine... I'm sorry, but if anybody's been watching the Olympics, it's just beautiful people everywhere. It's just like whether you're watching the men's or the women's, it's just like, whoa, look at all these people. They're all like Just like half these athletes, if not, I would say 70% of these athletes look like straight up models. Of course there's going to be a shortage on condoms at the Olympics. Good Lord. Ronnie Webster, of course he pops up. All right, let's check that other channel with the mode 4. Wowzers. Get up. This will be more of a genty tone. It's a little bit less gain and a lot more twang to it. Oh my gosh, I can't play for a shit today. Sounding pretty good, guys. Sounding pretty awesome. The mode 4 matches up nice, and it's one of my favorite impulse packs ever. Is the ML Sound I can't speak. The ML Sound Lab mode 4 Mofo. There's also another pack called the Mofo, though, also from Valhalla. I think also based on a mode. I can't speak today. Can't speak or play or anything. Why am I even here? What's going on? All right, so let's boogie over to the BH4, and then we're gonna come back. As I mentioned, second half, I'm gonna try it with a different guitar. Maybe try it for. Has anybody decided which guitar is gonna be coming in hot yet? Is it gonna be the Alexei Ibanez? Is it going to be the Tim Henson IFI 7-string? Which I might add, these pickups, folks, are sleepers. They are going to impress. I am so impressed by this Tim Henson 7-string set that I actually went ahead and asked Fishman if they would consider sending a set in white, in 6-string, for the Meinzinger. I'm that serious about these pickups. They sound terrific. All right, let's see what we got here. It's quite dark. Sounding pretty good though. It's dark, but it's a good dark. Let's check the vintage cab. So if you're new to recording, really your guitar chain all it would need to be is like you'd have like a noise gate of some sort. Well, this has a noise gate, so you'd really just need this, an EQ, and like a limiter. That would be it. And you could quad track doing, and all you'd have to change in quad tracking to make it sound really, really thick is all you'd have to do is 2 tracks with this guy here. And then 2 tracks with this guy here. One's got a naturally more of a scooped kind of sound. This one's got a little bit of a poke in the middle. If you were to use these 2 and 2, or even just 1 and 1, if you want to just do dual tracking and fatten it up with like something on the bus or whatever, these would go really nice, really, really nicely left and right. And if you're just the heavier you're getting, just turn it up a bit. right channel for it. Wow, there's a lot of an effect on that pedal. Wow, that pedal has a lot of value. I'd be very curious to know what the settings are on the pedal that they're using on this one. And which pedal? Does it say in the manual? Love Bogren Digital, but I gotta be honest, I get my Savage Brutes from the Soft Tube Savage in Amp Room plugin. Whereas it's funny, like I actually like the one that Soft Tube did, whereas a couple of the folks here on the team hate it, like just loathe it. I don't really get it. I think it sounds pretty awesome. My personal favorite Savage is the one from Brainworks, if I'm being honest. This one, though, it's just like, as far as VH4s go, well, the Brainworks VH4 is also pretty damn tough to beat. That one is pretty fucking good. But this isn't really designed to compete with that. This is just kind of designed to compete with itself. There's no other plugin like this that gives you that VH2 almost look. I mean, I think the one in Will Putney tonality is more like a VH2. I think it's just channel 3 and 4. So, I mean, whatever. If you want to think those are competing products, I guess, maybe. But this isn't a different price bracket and everything else. I think these are just designed to be their own bag. And they're designed to appeal to a different demographic entirely. Some people that I know don't like the simplicity of these. They get frustrated by not being able to do that additional tweak somewhere when they can hear it. Then just like, I can hear it, just like I was just telling you guys, I can hear it that it needs a little oomph, but that could be just with this guitar. You also have to remember that these settings that they've programmed, or they've modeled and coded all into these plugins, etc. These settings have to be great. Sorry, it's a lot of pressure for one setting on an amplifier, especially an amplifier. Thank you so much. Especially an amplifier as versatile and complex as the Savage. It's asking that to be friendly to every single set of pickups, active or passive, that it comes across is an extraordinary ask. That's a big ask. So sometimes with these plugins, if you're one of those sticklers for tone, you're gonna have to make some moves, like maybe using a different pedal, or potentially using, probably you're more likely going to use a different IR, because the pedal also doesn't have the settings either. So if you want a pedal where you can increase the tone knob to get a little more top end, or you want to use something that makes the bottom end bigger, you're going to probably going to want to aim for your IR collection, and which is why I always tell people to have an IR collection in general. So in this case, this is sounding pretty awesome. We're going to nuke the cabinet for now. We're going to go to our own, and we're going to test it with this the Marshall first. Is that also with the pedal off? Okay, that's the pedal off. We're going to try our own pedal as well here. And I'll try a different pedal here. And we're going to go back to the EGA, because that's where I kind of want, and ideally wanted to start anyway. It's hard to get away from an IR when you really like it as well. But it's tough for this one because it's so big in the bottom end. It is kind of dark. So sometimes getting it to match up with all of the amp knob plugins can be a bit of a task, because again, you're kind of asking it to do something that it doesn't do, you know? That pedal adds a lot of oomph and low end. I'd be really curious to know what it is. That's too much low end. Way too much low end. In the IRs, not the amp. So I want to be clear about that. Let's try that weird blend I made the other day. No, that's not going to be a good fit either. If you guys have something specific you'd like me to try in the IR department, just always let me know. So I'm always interested in checking some things out. In this case, we're looking to make some friends. Looking to make some friends. That's sounding pretty sexy. That's sounding pretty good. A lot of options of things that you can kind of throw at this one. Should have it, always have it. That's poor showmanship here. That's sounding really good. Lots of chugs here today. These are chug machines, though. I would say the Savage is going to be more of a one-trick pony, kind of more of that modern high gain, whereas the VH4 here is the channel 3 is good for anything from Tool to, you look it up, the amount of players that use channel 3 here. We were even just using a plugin yesterday where one of the amps is based on a VH4 / Herbert. Coffee, second coffee. I drink decaf in the morning though. No caffeine in the morning anymore. It's sabotaging my day. All right. Whoa. Let's go back. The Alexi. Bring forth the Alexi. All right. VH4. We've got one vote for the Alexi. Although I'm going to tell you, Ronnie, have you heard these Tim Henson pickups yet? Holy fuck. I'm super shocked as to just how good these pickups were. You'll be hearing a lot about those pickups over the next while if I'm able to get that other set for the Mindsinger. I don't see any Ampeg 412. Any Ampeg 412 cabs would be interesting to add to the mix for old school death metal tones, particularly for this heavy earth suite. You don't see any anywhere? You like them? The thing is, the thing about Vader cabs is the reason I've been told point blank by 3 different IR developers. Well, let's just say there's 2 that really tried. There's 2 developers that I know of that tried to shoot a Vader cab and said that the files just didn't come out the way that they had hoped. That it's quote unquote more of a live performance and rehearsal cab than a cab that sounds good with IRs. And you got to wonder if that's the reason. I know that Dr. Bonker's Sound Lab was this close to borrowing a Vader cabinet from a prominent death metal band, and they just couldn't be without it for as long as he needed it. And it was real close. It was when he was still living in New Jersey. And he it was a deal, and it was all set up, and the guy from Vader actually helped set it up because he was going to partner, or they were going to kind of collaborate on this IR pack, but the guy wasn't building at the time. So maybe at this point he'd be willing to rediscuss it with Mike. That'd be really cool to see. So the third channel of this amp is just, it's a workhorse. You can do almost anything with it. If we add a little boost to that, just not super aggressive though. That sounds delicious. Which IR are we using right now? This is a York Audio Zilla V30s. Let's blend some speakers here. I'm not sure how we ended up here. And this is one of my favorite things to do with these amp knob plugins is just play IR Hunter and just throw, you guys can throw, just like take your whole collection. And if you're like, well, I don't have a collection because I don't have, and it's not in my budget, that's understandable. I understand. But you know what? There's no excuse. There's no excuse because free IRs are everywhere and they're getting better and better and better and better and better. And if you can go back and somehow find some of the old CCal cab stuff back when he was doing free stuff, that stuff was most of that stuff was really awesome as well. If you're wondering why there's gospel singing in the background, it's the start of a Peeling Flesh song. Here we go. So yeah, there's really no excuse. You can have a huge IR collection and just don't pay $1. You can also look for sales where a company, I know, like you'll see developers like Bogren Digital and Dr. Bonkers and, you know, York Audio and all these other amazing developers will put their stuff out there for good prices on sale as well. So you can shop and get packs for like $4.99 and $5.99 sometimes from some developers. So always just kind of keep your eyes peeled. And of course, there are a number of packs out there, rad packs you can buy. But in this case, we went after this 212 Zilla from York Audio. And this is a really nice, really nice blend here. And we're using the Sword. This is a freebie. This is our collaboration with Audio ways back. If you haven't checked this plugin out, please do. This is 100% free and it can give you a ton of different tones out front of your amp. Tons and tons and tons of tones of weighted that it's just a simple EQ and ways that you can kind of almost trick the ear in a little bit into thinking you might have something that you don't actually have up there up front. Check it out ASAP. Freebie alert. If you don't have it, go get it. This might be the tone of the day, folks. Get a little bit more gain. I can do a little bit more with it here. Little out of tune. Little out. All right, we're at about the top of the hour. I'm going to take a quick break and we're going to come back with a different guitar. This is the last chance for votes. We have 6 people in the house. Last chance for vote skis today. Do you have a preference? Tim Henson. We have the average ass Jackson, the sleeper guitar with the 18 volt EMG 81 modified. We have, as mentioned, the Tim Henson 7-string beefer. Let me know what you'd prefer. And we're going to do that in the second half. I'm not sure why I'm still tuning. Dude Audio Assault have tons of CCal IRs for dirt cheap. Yes, they do. But a lot of their IRs, aren't they welded, hard welded to like the 3D something rather? Plus, I'm not sure that the current CCal, I haven't used enough of it to know whether it compares or competes with the old stuff, but when he was doing free stuff, that stuff sounded really good. Second half, I will show you one of those old CCal packs. It's a freebie pack, and if you can still find it, I'm not sure if you can still find it anywhere, but if you can still find it anywhere, it's called the Signature IR pack. And I'm gonna show you guys just how good it sounded in the second half here. A lot of content creators offer IRs too. If you join their Discord or Patreon, Taylor has a bunch of IRs he shot of his Mesa cab, his Bogner cab, his Marshall, etc. You don't. That's the thing, is if it's free, go and download it. If it's free, go and get it. It might suck. Not every creator that's good at playing guitar or good with gear knows how to shoot an IR. You know what I mean? The best IR developer I know in the entire universe is a bass player, and he doesn't even really play much guitar. And Dr. Bonkers stuff is bonkers. It's bananas. If you've never purchased anything from Dr. Bonkers, please go and check out his stuff. Also, stellar IRs from Bogren Digital. Some, in my opinion, some are better than others. There's a couple of the packs over there that I really liked, and there's a couple packs that I was just kind of like, you know, they're okay. But that's the thing, is not every IR is going to be the biggest winner. But the thing is, what's also an IR that's a winner to me might be a loser to you, and a winner to you might be a loser to me. So, you know what I mean? Oh, okay, they do come as regular IRs in the folder. Sick. The Vaders have an interesting character, maybe a little dark. Very dark for sure. Interesting. Ronnie, can you do me a favor and just send me a quick email to let me know about that? I am going to see what we can do about that. Or if there's a very reasonable, I'm going to ask the team, and I'm going to ask a couple of IR developers that I know, and to see if there's something that is as close as possible in their minds, both speaker and material and construction wise. Or maybe one of these people has one of these cabinets and hasn't shot it yet. Your best bet, if you're for weird cabinets, your best bet is Dr. Bonkers or Valhalla. VA, just Valhalla, but instead of an A on the end, put an IR. Those two companies are maybe the coolest companies for weird cabinets. And when I say weird cabinets, you'll see what I mean when you go to both those websites. Also, Bogren Digital has that weird cabinet. It's made like out of fucking granite or something. It's made like out of granite or stone or something like that. Have you guys seen that IR pack? It's like the £1 million IR pack or something like that. It's insane. I don't know what, I'm not sure what resonant, I'm not sure what sound capabilities it has. I would actually almost be interested to find out. All right, guys, I'm going to be back in a couple of minutes. Thanks so much for being here. Like yesterday, when I left for 2 minutes, half the viewers left. I'm just going for a break, folks. I'm not leaving. Just be right back. Thanks for being here. Yep. How's everybody doing? 6 people in the house. That's more like it. I can follow that. I'm not definitely not complaining with how many people we had in the house yesterday, but holy shit. That yesterday caught me by some surprise. So let's see how good this sounds. I just put new strings on it. I dropped it down a half step to C sharp. Because I noticed that it was just a little... There's a problem with one of the frets. I'm going to give this another stretch because I know it's going to buck me. Yeah, I know it. I know it. I knew it. What's everybody got going on today? Do tell me in the chat. We watched a Friday the 13th movie last night. Because why wouldn't you? We watched the one because this sounds silly. We really like the show Supernatural. And so we watched the one with Jared Padalecki in it, the more recent one where like Willa Ford is in it, the one that was like Michael Bay. It's just the one we watched. Might watch another one tonight, who knows? We'll see. Anyhow, this is my Ibanez RG 420 EG. It's a weird guitar. If you notice, these are actual like divots. These are not just painted on the guitar. These are actual, excuse me, a little bit dusty. Anyways, let's give it a shot. See what it sounds like. And it's armed with the Alexi Laiho ALX set. And thank you so much to EMG and Tommy at EMG. This is a wonderful pickup. I was so shocked by how much I liked this pickup. I was just so surprised how much I enjoyed this pickup. Shocked. I'm going to be messing around with the height a little bit because I had to do an adjustment on this guitar. So we're just going to see where it goes today. All right, let's go back to the original IRs here. It's giving me that, it's close to where I had it. I had to mess with it, eh? If you're not familiar with the Alexi Laiho set, I really want to get it back to where I had it, but I had to change things up because things were the action and things needed to be fixed a little bit on this guitar. Sounds pretty good, but I think I could get it sounding better. Bit of a bummer. Yeah, it needed to be adjusted, and with that, I forgot what I had it at. So I'm gonna have to go back and figure that out again, where I had it. Anyways, this is a pickup you don't hear enough about. This is an extremely underrated pickup from EMG. In my personal opinion, one of the more underrated pickups you're ever gonna hear about. I don't really hear of a lot of artists using this. You hear a lot of EMG guys using the 81s, 85s, and the 60s, and all the different tons of different pickups, but you don't hear of a lot of EMG artists or people using the ALX set unless they're really after that Alexi tone. And I think that is just really pigeonholing that pickup overly, way overly. This is a pickup that definitely, I hate using this word, transcends, but separates itself from being just that sound. It's just like the Bill Lawrence USA L500 XL. People hear about that pickup and it's like, oh, that's the dime bag pickup. Yeah, it is the dime bag pickup, but it's not. That's not going to give you the instant dime bag tone. It's a wonderful pickup that he just happened to use. It's like saying that the EMG 81 is the Metallica pickup. Yeah, it is, but it's also we could be all the other bands from throughout history that have used the 81 to crush universes, right? Just think of how many bands, before you go and talk shit about the 81, think of how many bands and how many albums, how many decades of metal that pickup has been on. Let's give it some respect. Come on. That being said, I'm having a tough time dialing this in exactly the way it was, and it's frustrating me. And I should have done this prior to the stream, but it is what it is. We're here now. You know what, folks? This might seem silly, but I'm going to go ahead and switch this up again. I'm not doing it its justice. I'm going to go grab that 7. We're going to jump right back in. It is what it is. Not going to cry about it. I just didn't. I really should have taken the time to just dial this pickup in and make sure I had it exactly the way. And that's, with a brand new amp sim, isn't the way to do it. So, I'm going to go grab something else and be right back at you guys. Many apologies. Is what it is. Sometimes the tones work and sometimes they don't. It's definitely not the plugin's fault. So let me get right back at you. Bingo, we're back. Is what it is. I'm not mad at that guitar because that pickup is just like, it's very, very, very fun and very, very cool to use. So it's not the pickup's fault. It's not mixing up the way it should. So we're going to tune this up real fast. And we're going to be on our way. Just used this day before yesterday. This is the infamous free 7-string a friend of mine gave to me. Really did not like the invaders in it, so I contacted Fishman, and Fishman was nice enough to send out the Tim Henson 7-string set, and I'm just out of nowhere was just kind of like, what? Is this real? Is this real life? Really like this set, so let's get into it right away. All right, let's go to the Savage again. Let's get a Savage again. Don't need a mountain. I don't like the cabinet as much in cab 1. I like cabinet 2 a lot more. Again, that's subjective though, right? We have to remember when I say things like that, that's subjective, completely subjective. You might use cab 1 and be like, whoa, obviously some very impressive and smart people that have a lot of experience loved cab 1 because it's cab 1 in a product, and it's not there for no reason. It went in there because it was the unanimous decision to be the voice of this plugin. So obviously a lot of people felt very strong about it, but again, IRs are very subjective. You might like one and you might love one and I might hate it. Again, we've been back and forth on this already. So I'm going to go to my own IR on this one. And does this sound good with this as well? It's too many variables. I'm going to go back to the faves for a second and see if we're still jamming a little bit too much low end. That sounded pretty big. That's pretty clanky. I really like this pickup set though. I do. I'm impressed that it just meshes up pretty and matches up pretty well with the BDE 120. At the end of the stream today, I'm going to go over any amp knob that you'd need. If you're in the middle of maybe buying, you're considering the purchase of an amp knob, and you want to know if I like it or not, and if you want to hear me use it with this pickup set in particular, I'll bust it out, no problem, right after this. The ska is not doing it for me this morning. All right. It's so weird playing that song like 3 strings up. And for those of you who haven't seen this guitar yet, this is a Schecter Diamond Series Avenger A7 Elite or something to that. It was it's a very, very late 90s or very early 2000s signature series guitar for one of the dudes from Avenged Sevenfold. I don't know which one. Sinister Gates, maybe, probably. Yeah, it's the Sinister Gates model. The other guy uses the double cut looking thing. All right, established. All right. He doesn't even know their names. What a loser he is. I was really impressed with this pickup set, though. The wife and I are about to hit up an Indian market and grab some lunch on the way. Nice. Get some samosas, brother. Samosas are my jam. I've got some super shitty ones in the freezer right now, waiting for me to eat. They're not good ones. I wish I could have good samosas today. Like proper samosas. We get samosas. I don't know. We'll find some. Man, 5 people now. It's a little slow today. That's cool. It's the morning, and I just like doing streams in the morning. I like not getting them out of the way, but that's when my energy is best on Saturdays and my motivation is highest. Otherwise, I like to just kind of, for Saturdays or I don't know, especially on a long weekend. Yeah, and because of how busy the last couple of weekends have been, I think today is going to be my day to fucking do nothing. Although there was a huge release yesterday that I do have to kind of keep up on. So probably going to do a lot of that today, just keeping track of some of the content. What have you guys been seeing as far as the Dave Davidson release goes? All right, this is what I'm going to say. As far as the BDE 120 goes, it's a good Savage, but I think that they did a really good job of simplifying a rectifier though. So saying that Bogren Digital not anyone can't simplify an extremely complex amp to a one knob plugin that's reaching, because they've done it before. But this one, I don't know, like this one is just, with the Savage being so different in how it responds to so many different pickups and so many different scenarios, this was a tough ask. Don't kid yourself, folks. This was probably the biggest undertaking that they've done at this point in a one knob. And yeah, it's awesome, but I think I don't like the cabs as much in this one. Everything about this is pretty sweet. I don't like the cabs quite as much. And for both so far, I would like to have just an on-off for the IRDX tech. That would be cool to have on and off. Not only for people that don't like it, but also potentially to sell them more of the plugin. How per se? Well, because if you allow users to turn it on and off, here's what it does. You allow them to turn it on and off, then they can see the dramatic difference between the two. And if they really like that dramatic difference, then they go to the Bogren Digital website and say, oh, sweet, I can get a plugin. Holy shit, I'm going to get that plugin for sure. I'm going to buy that plugin. So instantly you're selling more of the plugin. You're making users that maybe don't like the feature happy because they don't necessarily want to use it because they like the IRs the way they are. And you're also potentially selling more of the IRDX plugin. So for me, that's a win-win and something I'll definitely send over to the nice folks over at Bogren Digital. Thank you so much to the nice folks over at Bogren Digital for sending these over. I didn't like the modern cab. The vintage cab was pretty decent. Overall, I think this one is fun. The boost pedal in here, I think, could have a little bit more on the top end to add a tiny bit more bite. It adds a nice little bit of saturation kind of sound, but it would be nice if it had a little bit more of a bite to it, or even if the pedal was like a TC Electronics boost or something like that. But let's just have some fun with it. So that's voice 1 for the pickups, by the way. We can go over the voices if you'd like. I just don't feel the boost or the pedal here does quite enough. I think it should maybe less. If there's a dirt knob in play there, maybe take that down and take the tone knob up a little bit, or take the volume, the level / volume down a little bit, bring the tone up. But again, this is completely subjective. Some people might hit this button and go, whoa, that actually does exactly what I wanted to do. No problem. You know, that's where we all have different ears. I like the second channel a lot more. I think by putting some pedals out front, it makes it kind of fun. Stacking some drive pedals. Really tight, even at that low F sharp. That's pretty heavy. And I'm using my own IR. And I didn't really... Let's change it back there. Wow, we might have found something here. Woo. Yeah, there it is. And I pull out that that toggle. Sounded pretty damn good. Pretty fucking good, folks. Love this pickup set. Definitely getting in that. Hopefully, really hoping I can get my hands on the white and gold set for the Mindsinger. I think it's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be wonderful. Finally finding a set that guitar sounds perfect with. Yeah. That being said, yeah, I've got a lot of pickups for sale, folks. I'll be putting those up at some point. Also, might be selling the Thal stick. Now that I have this monster, and I really enjoy playing this guitar a lot, and it gets me down to that low F sharp that I've kind of been seeking for the channel, I may sell the Thal stick. You guys be the judge. We'll see if that happens or not. We'll give it another boot at some point. Wish the added dB meter for the input gain, I used them standalone. Joe has gas. Nice to see you, Joe has gas. What kind of gas? That's a fun name, dude. Joe has gas. That could mean so many things. That could be like that could just be a statement in either way. Like it could be telling people that you have like gasoline, like it's a business. You should start a gas station and just call it Joe has gas. You're welcome for that. That's a $1 million idea. Wow, the chug, chug. Wow, that's chunky and chonky and messy and fun. Nice to start your morning with some guitar, though, and talking with good people, enjoying some coffee. Wonderful. Hopefully everyone is having. What do you mean though? Wish the added dB meter for the input gain. I use them standalone. I'm not fully getting that. I see where you were going with that. Wish the added D meter for the input gain. I thought you were going to say something else, and then you're like, I use them standalone. Oh, wait, sorry. Wish they added a dB meter. Wish they added a dB meter for the input gain. I use them standalone. What do you mean? Well, you mean, why not use it in a DAW, though, dude? A little out of tune, folks. Sorry. Still relatively newish strings. It's not that bad, actually, though. It's not that bad. Wow. Wow. What are we doing here? Oh, that one on the top gets me every time. You son of a bitch. All right, everybody. Got another few minutes to go here. Having some fun, playing some guitar. Having just a relaxed day. Yesterday was insane. Plus, I'm finally feeling a little bit better. I'm on the way up. I woke up feeling a lot less congested yesterday. Folks, I gave it everything I could. After the 2-hour mark there, I was just like, I was done. I was talking in circles. I'm going to do into something a little bit more coherent and hopefully a little bit better put together for that plugin. So in this case, I don't want that much low end, so I can just go in here and just round that off to about 120 if I want. I don't like doing any processing or EQ really in here though, because it's just not something like that I want. I don't like to process things much if I don't have to. I like to give you guys what you're gonna get from basic components. And if I am gonna do anything, make any of those moves whatsoever, I'm gonna show you guys what I'm gonna do. In this case, it's just using the high pass here in the impulse response loader to even go up to about 100 to take those boom pace out and see what's happening. That would be the best tone I think we've had today. And I'm not a Tim Henson fan, as mentioned in the other stream. I'm not a Polyphia fan. I mean, I don't dislike their music. I don't. it is what it is. He's influenced. It's hard not. You have to give him respect. It's hard not to give him a lot of respect because he's influenced countless amazing guitar players, and he's got this whole movement of things going, and he's immaculately impressive. So even if you don't like their music, you have to give that band some respect. You do. You have to give them at least some respect because, like, that dude, they're just monster players. Not just Tim Henson, but they're all monster players. The other guy from the band has a signature pickup set as well. I wonder how much they differ from Tim Henson's. Now, that has me thinking once again, how much do they differ? Are they very similar to Tim Henson's, just slightly different voiced? How are they different? Very interested. That being said, even if you don't like a signature artist, I always tell you folks, always to have an open mind, because while you might not like their music and you might not necessarily gain a lot from their playing, their tone choices may align with yours more than you think, especially when it comes to pickups. I've tried several sets of signature pickups that I thought I was really going to like based on the artist going in, and then just didn't like the pickups very much. And I've also gone into probably 3 or 4 sets in the last, I don't know, the last year here, where I was just blindsided impressed by something I tried. And so that for me means it's so much fun to still be trying different pickups and being impressed by new things. And this set right here was very impressive, and how much snarl and bite and just aggression it has. It's a super fun pickup set for low tunings. I'm in the F sharp, and it's pretty clear. You know what I mean? It's not super muddy. These are very clear pickups, which is what I wasn't getting from the Invaders in here. The Invaders sound awesome, but the Invaders simply are not tight enough. The Invader needs to be a tighter pickup. I wish there was like an Invader X where they somehow find a way to just take that those muddy characteristics out of the low end of that pickup and make one that's more for low tunings, because a 6-string Invader and a 7-string Invader are different universes. 6-string, I find that if you're tuned in E to at lowest D, I find that the Invader is definitely can add lots of power and snarl and low end to, like, especially if you're in like a single guitarist band like Blink-182 and other bands. A single guitarist band, it can add lots of low end and beef to your tone when you're in those higher tunings. But when you get down to that low, I just feel the Invader's just way too muddy, and you end up having to make moves in the EQ and doing things to kind of accommodate it, and I don't want to do that. I want a set of pickups in this low tuning that is going to be tight. And that's why I went in, I watched a few demos, and I noticed there was this characteristic, and even though I didn't really like the demos that much, I noticed there was this tone characteristic, this bite to things that they were doing. And I said, I know I can make that work for death metal. I guarantee it's going to work for something heavier. And I was really, really impressed with how this set has worked out. Wow, those sound good. A tiny adjustment. Just a tiny adjustment. Let's see if this... Just to take a tiny bit of low end out. That sounds awesome. Huge fan, huge fan. Wow, that's beef. All right, let's check out the BH4 for a couple more minutes before we get out of this joint for the day. I love this. I love the VH4, and I think this is a pretty solid take on simplifying what is also kind of a less complex amp than the Savage for certain. In fact, if it's just 2 channels, it's a pretty simplistic amp. Beefy. I think that the Amp Knob B4 is a touch, just a touch on the dark side, but not far on the dark side. It's also awesome. It's going to be a really great way for people to enjoy the VH4 without having too much to deal with. It's kind of like a VH2 almost. And it's simplistic. It's easy to dial in. It's going to give you, these are giving you the tone, they definitely giving you the tonal characteristics of these amps. It sounds like the Savage. It sounds like the VH4. But if you're looking to, expand your horizons on either of these amps, the cool thing is there are a lot of options out there that are going to be available to you. There are a number of developers that have takes on both of these amps. That are, some of them are older, some of them are newer, but all of them are pretty sick. And I'm hoping that you guys, let's say a show of hands, who has no experience with either the Savage or the VH4 in the plugin world? It's kind of hard not to, because at this point there are so many takes on those amps that you don't even have to have bought, even through free trials alone, you've probably tried at least one take on both of those amps. Plus, there's a lot of profiles and captures of both amps that are kicking around as well. So my thought is you've probably tried someone's take on the amp, right? Wowzers. All right, so that's awesome. The other mode, by the way, is a single coil mode. And I'm not going to get into that voicing because why would I? There's no point. It just doesn't seem... why would you do that? So I'm going to get going. Hope everyone's had a fun day today. My thoughts are these are fun additions to the Amp Knob universe, and we're always excited to use more Amp Knobs. We're excited that more of these come out, and the family of Amp Knobs continues to grow. I thought it was interesting. They didn't do it in a 3-pack this time. They've been doing their Amp Knobs in 3-packs. So why didn't they do it in a 3-pack this time? Again, we must have Patrick Jensen on. I'm going to email him this afternoon and hope that we can have him on for a stream where we just we bust out a few of the Amp Knob products. Hopefully, Hey, could we be seeing a Patrick Jensen one knob plugin? That a signature Patrick Jensen one knob. Man, that'd be sick. Also, could we see a one knob Ola Englund someday? That would be amazing too. That would be tone for days. Tone for days. Why has Ola never done a plugin? I think he said because he doesn't want to just be like loyal to one company, but I don't think that's necessary. A lot of people have signature plugins and review other plugins. Love to see an Ola Englund plugin. The world needs one. The demand has been there forever. Come on, brother. He's never going to see this. That's okay. It'd be awesome though if we could see that. Even just the chug pedal in plugin form with like a suite built around it. Ooh, heavens, that makes me happy. All right, folks, thank you again for being here. Like and subscribe if we've entertained you today. If we have not entertained you today, we will try harder so that you may hit that button in the future. Is there a stream tomorrow? Yes, there will be. He's pretty married to Neural? I disagree. He's friends with guys at Neural, but if you look on his channel, I mean, Patrick Jensen and he are bandmates, and Jensen works at Bogren Digital now, so, I mean, who knows what could happen. I am feeling a lot better, actually, today. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, there's a stream tomorrow. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I think we're due for a Doom Tomb. I don't know exactly what we're going to do. I said I was going to do a country, like a country clean stream. It's been a while since I've done anything Telecaster. All right, before I go, somebody give me what should I do tomorrow? Do you want to do another IR stream because the first one got so screwed up? I had to delete it. It was a new concept. I had to refine it a bit. So yeah, if you guys let me know in the comments, what would you guys like to see tomorrow? I don't usually have this kind of freedom, although tomorrow I will have some freedom. The chug pedals in Genome? Okay, so it's sort. I'm not a big fan of the Genome stuff, man. Love the 2 Notes IRs, though. Do a thrash stream? Okay. I can do that. Okay, we're going to bust the Slayer. Okay, fine. Tomorrow's a thrash stream. New and old school thrash. We're going to be here tone talking and listening to thrash. We're going to be doing thrash. I'm going to use a couple of different guitars. I'm going to bust the Slayer Strat, the Slayer Sleeper Strat, the Triple S. Triple S. It's not what I meant. Shh. It's not what I meant. The Slayer Strat, the Super Slayer Sleeper Strat is going to come out. And that is a rad strat that I have that you guys have probably not ever seen on this channel. And so that'll come out. We're going to bust out a whole bunch of different plugins that you can use to create modern and vintage thrash tones. We'll talk about the gear used. It'll be fun. We'll talk about it in our group chat today, and we'll come up with some fun things that we can do for the stream. I'll throw a plugin giveaway in there, something really thrashy that I can think of from the Aurora DSB lineup. Probably end up actually being Nosferatu, but that's free already. So we'll discuss. Cobra's pretty thrashy too. Maybe we'll do Cobra. Anyways, like and subscribe, folks. If we've entertained you today, come back tomorrow. I think it'll probably be in the what hour? I'm probably going to be around the same time tomorrow morning sometime, so that it's just a good energy. I have a good energy in the morning. I think tomorrow would be a good time to do a thrash stream, so we'll probably do one tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. p.m. rather. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to do it in the middle of the night. Sorry, 10 a.m. Eastern time, and I will be here, and we'll do some thrashy type things. Yeah, we'll just do some, we'll come up with some fun things that could be used for free and paid, by the way. It's not just going to be like, hey, check out all these amazing plugins that you need to buy tomorrow. No, we're going to bust out, definitely have to bust out an Embrini Audio Crunk for that, because that is going to be a beauty. We could throw in yeah, we're going to discuss it. We'll come up with maybe 5-6 plugins, and I'll use the Slayer Strat for the whole thing or something. All right, folks. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. It'll be fun. Sup, Rudy? Right at the end. Sorry, Rudy. Right at the end, brother. I'll see you tomorrow, brother. We're gonna do an 80s, an old school and new school thrash stream tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time. I will be here, and it'll be fun. I know it'll be. You'll probably want to be here for that. Cheers, everybody. Thank you for being here. See you tomorrow.
What's happening? What's happening? Hey, hey, it's your boy Lil Jon. The pick your meat click. What's up, Phony? What's happening? What's up, Sean Paul? What's happening? Hey, now, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time now. About that time. Turn this thing on out. Now let me see everybody do this. Hey, let's go.